I told you not to dig. Do not dig. Oh no, it is over. It is over. It is over. If you walk by the river often, you are bound to get your shoes wet again today. This fish pond is no ordinary place. It is famous in our county and our town, in our township, our village, our group. There is an uncle from the neighboring group. You see, this uncle and I get along pretty well. Early this morning, he was worried I could not see from the excavator. Maybe I would block his sunlight. So he just brought over half a bucket of hot water to help me wash the glass. But he did not think about thermal expansion and contraction. Would not pouring hot water directly crack the glass? I am really grateful to this uncle. Thankful for his kindness. Thankful that he used hot water to clean my windshield. Since 2023, he has been inviting me to dig this fish pond for him right up until I actually started digging for him. I was still making excuses, like saying the excavator was not available, or the excavator was at another site, and no one was free. In the end, I really had nothing left to lose. I even dared to say things like the excavator was broken. So you guys must be curious. Why did I turn him down? The reason is what you just saw. At the foot of the outer slope of the embankment, he only allowed me to dig a trench as wide as one bucket. And I could not dig it very deep, either. As far as I remember, there has always been this fish pond. Since I was a kid, it has been here for over 30 years, and has never been changed. And the whole pond is right at the foot of the mountain. If I say this pond is not deep, I bet none of you would believe me. So the little trench dug outside does not really do anything at all. I am really afraid of getting the car stuck. That is why I have been coming up with all sorts of excuses to refuse my uncle these past few years. I just did not want to dig for him. This time, I could not say no. I finally came over to help him dig. It feels like I barely dug a few shovels, and it was already piled up underneath, just to prevent the car from getting stuck. I have started using a new technique. I dig a trench a bit deeper at the base of the levee. Because the soil at the base is hard, the excavator won't get stuck. By digging lower, I can keep the excavator balanced. After trying it out, I found this method actually works quite well. As he moved forward, we came over to the side where Uncle is building the dock. Uncle said he still needs this dock. Then he brought some rope. I used the excavator to lift it over and set it aside. Then Uncle said again, "What are we going to do with all this wet mud? Where should it go?" After our repeated discussions, I decided to do a little work on his land. I dug out the topsoil inside. I widened this piece of land for him. When my uncle saw how quickly I was widening it, he started waving his hand vigorously. He basically meant, "That is enough. That is enough. Just widen it this much. That is enough." Yeah, I only stopped widening after receiving his strong instructions. That is when I stopped moving forward. I kept rolling back and forth over it. Then I kept patting it down, back and forth. I ended up widening the whole area by about 3 or 4 meters. Now I am starting to dig up the soft mud from the fish pond. Honestly, one shovel at a time, and throwing it onto the surface of this land, and to pile up more wet mud. I even deliberately raised the whole plot of land a bit. After I finished, my uncle and I just stared at each other. It felt like there was nowhere left for the wet mud to go. Honestly, at that moment, I just wanted to run away. I did not want to do it anymore, because I thought there was just too much wet mud in this fish pond. It is a complete mess. There is really nothing worthwhile to dig up. And I kept running back and forth inside. In the end, the only outcome was getting the car stuck. But since I was already here, if I did not do my best and finish the work I could for the boss, I would actually feel pretty bad about it. So I moved on to the third step. I made some modifications to the dam at the east side. I dug open half of the entire dam. I dug a trench 2 meters deep. The dry soil I dug out was placed inside to serve as a retaining wall. The benefit of doing this is that it can prevent leaks. It also allows more wet mud to be piled up, and it can widen the dam. But the downside of doing this is that after widening the embankment, the fish pond becomes smaller. Also, my excavator can easily get stuck. Even though it looks like I have dug more than 1 meter deep into the soft mud, in reality, all the ground under my excavator is silt. It is just that the layer under my feet has become compacted. After years of settling, it turned into that really sticky mud. Passing over it once is definitely fine. But if you go back and forth a few times, there is a good chance you will get stuck. Just now, I got stuck 2 or 3 times in there. I was just lucky enough to climb out. I thought I could finally get ashore, but then I saw a corner over here. It feels like this corner is not really useful, so I did something with it. I dug a pit. Listen up, everyone. Every time I dig a pit, I always try my best to make it as big and deep as possible. Because I think when you are piling up mud, the deeper you dig, you can pile up a bit more. If you dig shallow, you can pile up less. But whether you dig deep or shallow, the work done by the excavator, the time spent and the cost are actually about the same. So I might as well dig a bit deeper, to pile up a bit more. That is basically it. Just a simple scan to pay. I immediately climbed onto the excavator. Now I have finally made it ashore. As for the bit of wet mud piled up below, the owner was not too happy with how it looked, so he asked me to do something about it here. First, I used the back of the bucket to push it upward, so that it blends better with the old embankment. Then we smooth it all out evenly. The main thing is to iron it until there are no cracks. That way, it is less likely to collapse when it rains later. All right, that is the job from 3 years ago. It took 4 hours. I finally finished it, though I was nervous the whole time. In the end, I got 900 yuan from the owner.